your 21 Alive First Alert forecast.
Well, the temperature pattern lately has been pretty impressive. We've seen low temperatures in the 30s, of course, highs finally warming into the 80s. Are we done with the extremes? Well, it does appear that way. But we're looking at some other elements, too, to discuss as far as the weather pattern is concerned. Not just the temperatures, but what's in our sky? Well, we've got some wildfire smoke first from the Canadian wildfires. Also, some haze due to some Saharan dust. That often travels across the Atlantic and reaches the East Coast. In fact, sometimes Saharan dust is what causes weaker tropical systems to form. So what would otherwise be a very strong hurricane could actually be blunted a little bit by the dust and the influence there. So very interesting. Everything's kind of connected. But satellite and radar does show that we have not just a few clouds, but also a little bit of haze kind of moving south and eastward into the area. You can best see it here on our satellite imagery that kind of shows those smoke plumes just a little better. You can kind of see the white of the clouds and really a good amount of smoke that continues to move south and eastward into northern Indiana, northwest Ohio. And taking a look at the smoke tracker, it's going to remain kind of a persistent thing, not necessarily as dense as what we saw this weekend, but you'll likely notice the sky looks a little more pale tomorrow, just a little, into the afternoon. Otherwise, it's going to be a dry day. Could become a little more dense here into Wednesday, although at the same time, clouds will also be increasing ahead of our next front that should finally clear the area Thursday and Friday. So it's not something we're going to have to deal with all week long, but you'll notice it here the next couple of days. Future track showing, again, mostly sunny skies, maybe a few cumulus clouds that build throughout the afternoon. That's about it. Here we are into Wednesday morning. That front is still out to our west. It's a slow moving thing. So we are going to likely see some sunshine for the first half of the day Wednesday before that front slowly moves eastward. And as it does, it will take advantage of some of the warmth, some of the heat of the day. The more sunshine we see, and depending on how long we see it, it could be another day in the upper 80s. So that's something to watch at least. But look, as that front moves south and eastward, slowly, it will trigger a few of these showers, downpours, maybe a few thunderstorms too, that would extend into very early Thursday. So we're not necessarily looking at a quick line of storms that moves through in an hour or two. It's going to take most of the afternoon or evening to finally slide through the area. Fort Wayne and points west-north seeing the brunt of this here between about 3 and 7 p.m. and then after 7 p.m. likely in places like northwest Ohio and south of Fort Wayne, seeing some of those downpours, mostly at about from 10 p.m. to maybe 2, 3 a.m. early Thursday. In any case, we're not expecting necessarily severe weather here. Could have some heavy downpours, some gusty wind, but that seems to be about it with this system. Better chance of some of those heavier downpours would likely be north and west of Fort Wayne. These are always difficult to predict as far as which areas are going to see some of the heaviest amounts. I know that some areas desperately need the rain. Others could probably still go a little while. So we'll see how some of those showers and thunderstorms behave. But it does appear, again, the highest probability of getting over a half an inch or so of rainfall will be north and west of the city, and then south and east likely seeing the lighter amounts. And then temperatures, well, they'll be pretty warm into tomorrow, mid to upper 80s. Yes, feeling like summer. As we head into Wednesday, a similar temperature profile, maybe a degree or two cooler if we see the clouds build in a little bit sooner than expected. But here we are with the 7-day forecast. Thunderstorms likely after 2 p.m. on Wednesday. Chance of some showers and storms 78 on Thursday. Friday, another chance of a few scattered showers and storms, mid-70s. And we're looking at a pretty nice weekend. And although we're seeing a lot of these raindrops and lightning strikes, as we all know, in early spring to midsummer, thunderstorms can be widely scattered. So I would not plan on necessarily a washout every day from Wednesday through Friday.
Sure.
But there could be periods where the clouds get dark, they release fury.